Hey, this is just Jared. I finally got my chocolate milk. Yep.
What the fuck? This is Bryce Lenson listening to people bitch at his house. Specifically Jarrett.
Yeah, specifically Jared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically.
Like the ocean.
Shut the fuck up. And I'm Joshua B. Easy. And this
This
is
is
the
Takeoff
Takeoff
Anytime
Anytime podcast.
By the time this one airs, probably been a few weeks. But big thing that was in the news either last week or the week before was Roseanne losing her show.
Right.
And I don't think it was news to anybody. The show had huge fucking ratings. And so she literally lost the show just because of her going on Twitter and saying some racist shit. Which, by the way, little tiny tangent, I love. She fucking blamed it on Ambien.
Yeah.
And Ambien goes out and says racism is not a known side effect of Ambien. When the fucking pharmaceutical company comes out to call out your racist ass shit,
That's funny.
that's priceless. So, but ironically enough, around the same time, there's a whole talk about Samantha Bee calling Ivanka Trump a cunt. Mm-hmm. And she had to she apologized. I don't know if she had to apologize,
that's not racism,
but she
though.
didn't lose her show. Well, and that's definitely one of the points that I definitely agree with and was going to get to anyways. And of course, the other big known one is Colin.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick, yeah.
So, and really the whole NFL thing, because the NFL recently ruled that
They banned kneeling.
they will fine you if you kneel, but you can choose to stay in the locker room during the national anthem, which Trump hated. He said that staying in the locker room is just as unpatriotic as kneeling. Which is funny because it was only 4 or 5 years ago that they started coming out for the national anthem anyways.
Right.
So, but now it's like this huge thing where if they don't want to be out there for that. But the whole thing, is people say, well, Roseanne lost her show, but Samantha Bee got to keep hers.
Because what Roseanne said was fucking racist as fuck.
Well, and that's the thing is,
Although it was true.
in I'm sure people that are going to disagree with this, but what exactly? Roseanne targeted a specific group of people and was prejudiced as fuck. Whereas Samantha Bee's, what she said was not nice, but it was not about a specific group of people, race, ethnicity, or religion, or anything. What she said was about a specific person. And that doesn't make it nicer, but at least that doesn't make her racist.
Well, I mean, I guess to be fair, Roseanne didn't say it about a specific group either. She said it about a person. See, here's the thing, and I talked to my brother about it.
Yeah,
This
but
is
what
what-
she said was
I
racist.
know, well, this is
But
what
go
I talked-
ahead. I
yeah.
want to know what you're going to say.
So this is what I talked to my brother about it, and I don't think what she said. I'm not siding with what she said, but what she said is offensive because of who she said it to. You know what I mean?
Or about.
Yeah, or about like if she would have said, okay, just for instance, of you, be Bryce, saying you look like a Planet of the Apes person, no one would have gave a shit. You know what I'm saying? Not because you're not a celebrity status. It's just because you're not a black person.
Well, the problem with that, though, what she said, the Planet of the Apes thing, is it's a known racial slur.
But guys,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
The whole Roseanne situation,
Hoseanne?
whatever her fucking name is.
No, I'm okay with Hoseanne. I think we should
But
refer to that.
The whole thing about it wasn't just her saying that about the black lady. Okay, it was like she was on like a 3 strikes type of thing, or she said 2 strikes. When she took the photo of her dressed up as Hitler, holding a pan of burnt cookies, symbolizing the Jews when Hitler used to burn the Jews, that was mad fucking racist.
Well, that was for a magazine, actually.
But that's still
Oh, yeah.
that's
No,
out cold.
I don't disagree.
Like as a black man, that one hurt me.
I mean, it didn't hurt me, but I understand why people were offended.
I mean that was way worse than her calling the black lady, the Planet of the Apes, whatever. But that was really bad. That was really bad. But people were like, okay, we'll take that one. And then she said something else that wasn't as bad, but it was still fucked up. And I was like, okay, that's like 2 bad things in like less than like 2 weeks. She gotta go.
Wait, well, I mean, she lost her show after the Valerie Jarrett situation. Yeah, everything else was just, it was just adding on to it.
But I'm saying the whole Jewish picture.
Yeah, but that was
how long ago was that?
that was years.
That was years ago.
That was years ago.
It
I
just
thought that was
it just got popular because of the whole thing.
Well, okay. Well, that popped up around the same time as the Valerie Jarrett thing happened.
Who's Valerie Jarrett, by the way?
She was Barack Obama's ex. I said Obama. Barack Obama's ex advisor.
Yep.
Oh, was that the one she did the Twitter post about?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying those things happen like damn near back to back that when that came out. So there's like, okay, we can't support her anymore knowing what she did.
Well, I honestly think it's because who she said it to. One, it was out the blue. We can all agree. It was just for no reason. Like, why would you say that? There was nothing that led up to it, and that's what a lot of people were saying. Like, it came out of left field.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing that happened to prompt that.
Yeah, it made no sense. Like, even when Kathy Griffin held Donald Trump's head up, or a decapitated version of Donald Trump's head up, she lost her spot on the show. You know what I'm saying? But we kind of understood why she would do it because a lot of people were upset, with Donald Trump becoming the president, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't give you any right to figuratively behead the man, you know what I mean? But we understood that a little more. Roseanne, it was just like, it was a Tuesday. Why did you say that? You know what I mean? And I think, and the reason why I gave the example of Bryce earlier, because I really do believe if she would have just said some messed up stuff to almost any other race, even with the same comment, it wouldn't have hurt that bad. It wouldn't have stung that bad. But for the fact, like Bryce said earlier, that black people have always had this racial
notion about gorillas.
Yeah, that we've always been compared to that, especially back in the day. Mm-hmm. It hurts a lot more. It's like, oh, you went out your way to specifically target a black woman in the worst way. So it's one of those situations.
You can kind of even argue a black woman of power. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't just no regular ass black woman.
Yeah,
but she had a specific stature to herself.
She definitely does. And I mean, Valerie Jarrett, not to take anything away from her, she deserves all the credit she got. I'm pretty sure she worked hard in her life, no matter what she looked like, as but it's just one of those things. Like, at the end of the day, she is a black woman, and like you said, she's a black woman of power. So, and we live in a world right now where, black people, especially black women, are always feeling attacked. Not saying that they aren't. It's just that, that's where we're at right now. That's the climate that we're in. So it's like when you target someone who's already on the fence, already guarded, of course you're going to get this backlash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said, like, although she could have said about any other race and we all would have been like, that's messed up, Roseanne, it was the fact that it was Valerie Jarrett. That it was like, okay, that's too much.
I think if she would have said something about Mexicans, it still would have been the same thing.
I guess it would have to depend on how she would flip it. Like, I'm talking about like that comment. That's what I'm saying. Just that comment. Like, she would have to like say somebody, was like a creation, like if Cesar Chavez and the dude from the Tapatio bottle had a baby, it would be some Mexican guy. Then that would be like, whoa, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
But like I said, I think it still had something to do with that Hitler picture. Regardless of the picture happened years ago, people nowadays are being persecuted for things that happened to them, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
So,
you know what I'm saying? So
I gotta admit, I actually have a lot of thoughts on this, and I really, really want to come back to that. But if I don't say what I'm thinking right now, I'm gonna forget it. So remind me about the persecution thing. But one thing that I saw on Facebook from one of my family members, and I come from a very conservative family. The only people who are not conservative in my family are, in my blood family, are my mom, my brother, and one of my aunts. Everybody else is conservative. And that's out of 5 kids. My mom had 5 siblings. One thing, there was a picture of Roseanne I saw on Facebook that said, I was vulgar before I supported Trump. And the implication was that the only reason people gave a fuck about her being who she is now because she's supporting Trump. And, and the popular thing by the liberal media, I hate that fucking phrase, by the way, is to tear down anybody who supports Trump. And my argument to that, because I understand the point, because I do think that the basis behind that is that, it is considered popular not to like Trump. Now, I think it's popular not to like Trump because he's a fucking... Anyways. But but I think my argument against, the whole Roseanne being, vulgar, she was vulgar before Trump, and, we're only treating her different now because she supports Trump, is coincidental. Because she's getting her show back because there's this whole rise of had her show back because of the whole rise of the the alt-right, which generally are the people who watch her show,
Right.
are conservatives. She had a very conservative fan base. And the reason people care now is not specifically because she supports Trump. It's because she is relevant again. Now, yes, she's relevant because her show, plays to Trump supporters. But I don't think that it's a direct relation.
Yeah, it's definitely not. But and I was telling my friend, I was telling one of my friends on Facebook that it's interesting to me that she would lose her show, with that idea, or with that type of language, when a lot of America actually thinks like that. And if Roseanne, from what I take, I don't always watch Roseanne, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But from what I've seen, Roseanne is supposed to be the normal, kind of just family. They have their ideas, they have their thoughts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of ways a lot of people in America think like that.
See, what I wonder about, and maybe some one of our viewers knows, there's an episode from the reboot where basically Roseanne, the character, suspects her neighbor of being a terrorist because she wears a hijab. Okay. What I wonder is, how does that episode end? Does that episode end with her realizing that, hey, people are people and, they're good people, and just because she wears a hijab, it doesn't mean that she's a terrorist? Or does that end with her being bigoted? I really wondered about the end of that episode.
I've never watched any of the new episodes.
I've never watched any of the episodes, period.
I really didn't even like the old episodes of Roseanne. Like, I just didn't like it.
Well, to answer your question, I seen a clip of that episode. Mm-hmm. And what happened? What the clip I seen was that she was in the supermarket, mm-hmm. and then the Muslim lady was there, and she didn't have she was trying to pay for this stuff, and the cashier was like, it costs this much, and she's like, well, I don't have this much on me right now. Can you just can I come back and pay the rest? Something like that, something like that. And then she was like, and this cashier went became all racist and stuff.
Oh, the cashier.
Yeah, the cashier did.
Okay.
And then, she's basically saying like, oh, you got, you people are out here always doing this, stuff like that. And Roseanne came in behind her, well, at least her character on the show came behind her and paid for the Muslim woman's stuff.
Okay.
And kind of just was like, well, we're all people. So maybe that happened after that point of the beginning where she suspected her. And maybe it was one of those realizations like people are people.
And what I saw was just a post. So the post might have been out of the context.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I heard about the same thing, but I never seen the clip or nothing like that.
See, and I think with me,
and I'll admit I didn't have all facts. So
yeah. See, and with me, and I understand Roseanne has said a lot of questionable things, that really make you think, okay, she might be racist. But I don't follow her on Twitter, so I don't know what her day-to-day posts are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She may say some horrible things every now and again, but 97% of her posts are good. In a sense, good. You know what I mean?
When we sit here and think about it, and all the people that are being condemned for things they did in the past, or current things that they did and nowadays, like everybody is being like, the media is opening fire on everybody but Trump. As in, like, Trump is the only person who, like, he may be getting flack and like people may be talking shit about him and stuff like that, but excuse me, but like, is his presidency?
Are you saying how there's no real consequences?
Yeah. For what he says as president, but everybody else is like.
Yeah, because for all this talk of impeachment and shit, it never actually happens.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
I did hear somebody say about a week or two ago, and it was just kind of like conversation, is that basically if we had a Democratic Congress right now, the articles of impeachment would have already been filed.
Oh, fuck yeah.
See, but here's...
I would hope to agree to that.
But
keep in mind, impeachment doesn't mean he's kicked out. It just means that they've started the process.
Yeah. See, here's my whole thing with the President Trump thing, and why his comments aren't so easily like what can I say? Like, it doesn't put them in hot water so quickly as it does regular celebrities. Because I think these platforms that people are saying this stuff on is controlled by certain people, whether they have a certain agenda or not. And a lot of people who for lack of better words are more PC are on these platforms. Mm-hmm. Or they control these networks who live off the views. Friend. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, even like ABC, like they have to get their views from this same platform. From these same people who are on these platforms. You know what I'm saying? So they have these same ideas. So that's why like they're so easy. Like if you say something wrong, we can cancel you. We can mess up your life.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump is in a position where the people of America put him there, whether it was rigged or not.
I don't think it's more so that. I think it's more so because Trump, the people who own the networks, you know, literally are Trump's friends. Trump is a billionaire, just like the head of these big corporations are billionaires, and billionaires stick with other billionaires. You know what I'm saying? They endorse one another. They finance one another. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the higher ups of these networks and shit like that, the people who got the real power, are on the same level as Trump.
But no,
that's a generalization, though. I mean, I know what you're getting at is that power begets power, and people with power are going to network with people who have power.
Right, like you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
But that actually is a perfect segue into what I want to say earlier. And Jarrett, you sound like you were going to say something.
yeah, and I hope I don't make you lose your train of thought.
Go ahead.
So when you say that, it's not exactly what I meant. What I'm saying is, like when you see these celebrities, their lives are controlled in a sense through contracts. These contracts that these companies have, these networks have. So you have to kind of sit on the side of them. When it comes to Donald Trump, he's the president of the United States right now.
Yeah,
you know
our
what I'm
next
saying?
chance to fire him is 2020.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a whole different level. It's not like, oh, he said something on Twitter, so the head of HR, for ABC is gonna be like, oh my God, we gotta get Trump out of here. We getting him out of here. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like
Guys
it's
think they're
a
gonna get Trump
totally
out?
different level. You know, that's what I'm saying. Because half the people in America, whether you want to accept it or not, wanted Trump in office. You know what I mean? Because they felt whatever he said, that's what they agree with. Now, are they taking it back or are they more excited? I don't know. It depends on if you ask them now.
Well,
But
technically, I'm just being a smartass. Technically, less than half the people who voted wanted Trump, and only half the people who could have voted.
But the
so
right-
really, it's less than a quarter of eligible voters wanted Trump.
But the right people to get him in office wanted him in.
No, I know.
Because, like I said,
so-
he's friends with the
But
right
that's a
people.
whole other point. But but no, what I was gonna say earlier, that still kind of works with what I was gonna say. So I'm gonna throw a disclaimer out there. I have very, very, very few facts to back up what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Oh, it's conspiracy. Here we go.
No. It's complete a hypothesis. Let's call it. So I saw a picture of the CEO or whatever of NBC. Is that the one that Roseanne was on? Whatever.
She's on ABC.
ABC. Yep. And the picture is a black woman, from what I understand. And I can't help but wonder, given the conservative nature of Roseanne's fan base, if the CEO of ABC wanted a reason to fire her.
Oh,
To cancel her show.
I feel what you mean.
You know who? I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure of this. You know who owns ABC or NBC? I think both, really. Disney.
Yeah. Disney owns ABC.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney and Viacom are the two biggest owners of
I knew Viacom. I didn't know
of,
Disney.
like all channels.
Yeah.
Basically, like I overheard someone talking about
Because
like
basically everything is either ABC, NBC, Fox, or...
I think it's CNN or something like that.
which is all owned by Disney. Disney owns Fox, ABC, I believe NBC.
Whoa. Disney doesn't own Fox.
Disney
They were
doesn't
in talks.
Disney,
They were in talks.
Disney,
thought they bought them.
No, Disney owns part 20th Century Fox now.
Yeah.
That's a difference.
Yeah.
Fox retained Fox News and Fox Sports. I don't know where the local Fox. I don't know what that falls under.
I think
but
the cinematic Foxes, they don't own them either.
yeah,
Like movies and such. They don't own the Fox studios.
Okay, but still,
Yeah, anyways.
just what I'm saying is that that I overheard a conversation about like when you buy a cable package and you don't want all the news channels or even maybe cartoon channels depending on who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like basically they give you packages of channels that you're never gonna want.
Right.
Right. And they say that they give you those packages because of the contracts with the channel owners, which is Disney or Viacom.
Mm-hmm.
They say like, well, if you want this channel, then you're gonna get all of our channels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Disney does the same thing. They're not gonna give you just one channel. They're gonna give you all the channels, and they're gonna make you pay for them even though you don't use them.
Okay. So what is this leading to?
Nowhere.
So you just said it just for the fact of giving us some miscellaneous information.
Kind of.
I mean, I appreciate it. Now I know how to get my packages.
Now you know. Sorry.
But I think that's God. It kind of made me. Okay, so Bryce was talking about the CEO of ABC being black and needing maybe a reason to fire Roseanne. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm totally looking up something related to this. I was looking up an infographic on the networks, and yeah, Disney, ABC, just like Josh says. NBC is off in its own little bubble, and then CBS. How did I forget CBS?
Yeah, I forgot about
Jesus
CBS
Christ.
too.
Yeah, and I think they said even a head person in Disney is a black guy.
Okay,
they
no.
said his name.
I know why you said that. I know why you said what you said because you were trying to say that all that is umbrellaed under one head, and they may have wanted the same thing. I can understand that. Take
like
a
that.
second.
What's funny is I do not see Fox anywhere on this infographic.
Cause that's new. It's probably old.
Yeah.
The Fox deal just happened.
But I guess in the sense of if that was the case, I don't know because even though she may have wanted internally to fire Roseanne, I don't think she would have thought about it in terms of business because it's not. Because think about it. A lot of things that people do in these big companies aren't because of their personal feelings.
Yeah, just for business.
They're doing it for business. So even if I don't like the content of your show or what your show stands for, if it's bringing in numbers, I'm probably going to keep it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think this decision was like
She
there
was
no
skating on thin ice.
yeah, but and there was no redeeming. Like you would have lost more than you would have gotten after this because people would have just stopped watching. It would have basically boycotted it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you would just lost money. So I think she made the decision not because she was trying to make a stance, and she might be making a stance saying, "Okay, that's just racist," but it was also a sense like this is no longer good for business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like when you say that, that is implying that you think, and I say that it sounds like because I don't think you do feel this way, but I feel like it's implying that if they had kept Roseanne, they would have lost viewers. Because honestly, I believe that Roseanne, if they had kept it, they still would have had stupid amount of viewers.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
she had some diehard fans.
I mean, I definitely think, but that's what I was saying before. That's why I'm surprised it got canceled because there's so.
I will
many,
admit, I'm surprised too. Overall, when
yeah.
you step back and look at it, just because as a business decision, it might be good long term, but short term, because now they have to find a show to replace that.
Yeah,
But I gotta say that I'm kind of happy the fact that they're keeping the same energy with Roseanne as they did with like Bill Cosby or like what's the other shows that they stopped watching because they stopped airing because of the allegations and such.
yeah,
House of Cards.
yeah,
What I thought House of Cards was coming out with a finale.
Oh, are they?
yeah. I think they switched the actor.
Oh,
Yeah, they took Kevin off.
okay.
Did they?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They took him off immediately. There was a movie he had, and they actually redid all his parts before the movie came out. And the movie was slated to come out within 3 months.
What did Kevin Spacey do?
He was allegedly
14-year-old boy at a cocktail party.
yeah, pretty much on the pedophile note.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
So they was like, then they know to that, my brother.
And he apologized about it. So I mean, he didn't deny it. He apologized.
You know,
Or well, he said he didn't remember and he basically blamed it on alcohol. Mm-hmm. And this isn't like recent. This is like years ago.
yeah, this happened years ago. See, it was, but
It's an old allegation.
see, I had my own thoughts on pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that it's ever right, and I don't know if we ever touched on it. It's about
That might be a
choice of
different
bad choice of
episode.
words. Yeah, but it's like what you were saying earlier, Josh. Like everything that somebody does in the past is coming back to haunt them at this point. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying with Kevin Spacey, I hope no one's thinking that I'm thinking pedophilia is good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's right. But I think I've had this discussion before where I was saying that sometimes that's not something you can control what you like. So if Kevin Spacey likes little boys, I mean, it sucks, but it's not something you can control internally. All you can do is not give in to the urge. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can really do. But at the same time, if Kevin Spacey did this 14 years ago or however long ago it happened and has never done that again, are we taking all his good away from his, just for this one bad? That's even just a hypothetical?
I guess the thing about that is that, as far as I understand it, nothing actually ever happened.
See, that makes it even...
I could be wrong, easily. But basically, he came on to the 14-year-old boy, and he probably tried to get somewhere, but I don't think anything actually ever happened.
Right. So nothing happened. It was just the fact that it was kind of like a move.
But can we? I would love to really know what happened with her because I don't really see Kevin Spacey as a gay guy or bisexual or anything like that.
But he came out as being gay after that.
Yeah.
The allegation came out.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
then
at least that he has an attraction to men.
okay, then I shut up then.
Yeah,
never mind.
because technically he could be bi.
I fall back.
But I mean, but that's the thing though. See, I don't see. You say nothing happened. So the most that we can assume is that he came on to this little boy, and the little boy was like, "Nah, homie, we ain't doing that," and then that was it. You know what I'm saying? Because the way it's portrayed in the media, from what I hear, it was like he was like a serial, pedophilia rapist. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's how I felt. I was like, damn, Kevin, like you need to calm down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if it was one incident, I'm not saying that the incident is correct or right, but it's like I can't really hold that against him in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But I guess at the same time, that's me personally. I never had to deal with that. I don't have a kid that had a grown man come on to him. You know?
Yeah.
I've never been a kid and had a grown man come on to me, so I don't have that view. You know what I mean? All I can say is I'm in the business of forgiveness in a sense. If it's just if the outcome didn't, like, I don't know how the boy feels. I don't know how the boy feels as a man. Like how is he now? Is he traumatized? You know what I mean?
I actually just looked it up. It was another actor, and he said that Kevin Spacey picked him up, put him on the bed, and made sexual advances. It definitely sounds like he didn't, get anywhere with it. I don't know if the younger actor fought back or whatnot. The article I see didn't really go into that amount of detail.
See, I just wish, and I hate drawing on this line because, one small slip of the tongue and you'll be, you get labeled wrong. You know what I mean? I just wish people would have said something in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I understand that some people are afraid, and sometimes you just feel like power. He's gonna get just washed away your word. But a lot of times, especially these days, with so much happening, it's almost like what can you trust anymore? You know what I mean?
Nothing.
And that's why I feel like society is going to become so introverted against each other because we're just going to be afraid to interact with each other. You know?
In a way, you can kind of make the argument saying that society right now is afraid to interact with each other, with everything being
Scrutinized.
scrutinized, and like you can do everything through the internet, dating, shopping, pay bills, entertainment, everything is through the internet. So, and because of the internet has made everything so easy and so accessible, you can kind of make the argument that humanity nowadays is scared of interaction. Is scared to take that leap of trust, to trust another person into their lives, because there's a lot of fucked up. No, you can say there's a lot of fucked up things, but it's a lot of fucked up things being projected onto the internet. A lot of fucked up things can be seen easier than what it used to be back in the day.
Right.
Because I really don't think that the world is more fucked up now than what it was back in the day. No,
Right.
I don't believe that shit. It's just that we can see it now.
Right.
See, it's funny to kind of tie it back to where we started. I think it's interesting because in some ways there's almost more of a immediate response, or maybe more consequences for what people say than what people allegedly do. But the key word there is allegedly. What people say, Roseanne going on Twitter, there's no denying that she said what she said.
Right.
But with stuff like, Harvey Weinstein, Cosby, all the other famous actors that have gotten pulled into the Me Too movement, and I don't mean anything bad, because that might have sounded bad, is there's a lot. You want to trust the victims, but you don't know unless you were there.
Right.
And I'm not calling anybody. I'm not saying that the victims aren't telling the truth, but unfortunately, and we ironically enough talked about this last night. Unfortunately, there are people who do do lie, and it
But
ruins it.
isn't that wrong for us to do? Isn't it wrong for us to, like you said, believe in the victim over the the person that is being accused? Because that believing the victim is automatically assuming that the other person is guilty, when we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
But the problem with that is the big problem with sexual assault in the first place. Well, one of the big problems with sexual assault in the first place is it often boils down to he said versus she said, unless it immediately happened. Because if it's not something that immediately happened, it's too late to do any test, any physical test.
Okay.
And so it comes down to he said versus she said, or he said versus he said, whatever the case may be. And the alternative is to not believe them.
But okay, then why is everybody being persecuted off of he say she said situations, but yet you need proof for everything else?
Long answer or short answer?
Okay, I know there's a difference. Go ahead. Both, really.
Short answer is because the long drawn out process of trying to get all the facts and trying to deter whether or not the victim is telling the truth and getting both sides of the story and going through court proceedings, it doesn't look good for headlines.
Right.
Headlines like to be short and to the point. This person is accused. Kevin Spacey, rape allegations, question mark. It's got to be short and snippy. You can't, if you're trying to get the facts, you're not going to get the facts from a headline.
Yeah.
But
You can never get facts from a headline.
But that's the answer to your question. That's the answer to your question is the short answer is, that getting all the facts doesn't look good on a headline.
Yeah.
But the long answer is going through and getting the facts and making sure that the stories match up and getting witness facts. But it's a shame. It's a shame.
None of that happens in a he say she said.
Well,
type
when we're
deal.
when we're talking about famous people, we don't see that part of it. I'm sure
it's not just famous people.
I'm sure it's still happening.
It's we can say when you look at black versus white, a little white girl says, "Oh, this this black athlete raped me," and they believe the little white girl without doing that investigation, without having any sort of witnesses, without having anything. They solely arrest this man, kill his future, and put him under the fucking jail because of a little white girl said that what he had did.
But there's still court hearings and shit like that. They don't just go, 3-year sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
No, they fucking don't. I've gone through this.
So you're saying that they don't give the person a lengthy sentence?
They do, but they still go through court proceedings.
Of course they go through court proceedings, but they don't
And hearings.
But they don't have any evidence. It's like you say, it's just a he say she said type ordeal.
Agreed, but they still go through witness if there's witnesses and all that shit. Problem is with sexual assault, there often isn't witnesses, so it comes down to he said versus she said,
and therefore the person is still loses
most of the time.
Right.
At least in my opinion.
And that's
not
my whole
that I've
thing.
done the research to back that up.
How are they justifiably putting these people away, from that type of situation? But yet other situations, what I'm saying, they gotta have proof.
Well, and that's the weird thing. That's the one that I honestly don't know the answer to, because that I have a family member who's been convicted of sexual assault, and
I have to
and gone through sexual assault.
No, it wasn't sexual assault.
Oh, okay.
It was
But no, I mean,
other stuff.
And I'm not playing down anything, but just because we've talked about sexual assault so much, it's so weird because we're supposed to be and I will, as much as I hate saying it on the record, I will say that I do believe that the individual I know did what he was accused of doing. There's no doubt in my mind because I know that person. And they pled guilty, and people can say that they pled guilty because it was easy to do and it was a first offense and blah blah blah. But the thing is that let's say I didn't have that certainty that he did it. it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and when it comes to felonies, it's supposed to be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. I think for civil cases, you just have to prove that there was just a reasonable evidence that it happened. But with felonies, I think there's some kind of precedent where you're supposed to have beyond reasonable doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And when it does come down to he said versus she said, there is no good answer to your question, because how the judges and how the jury, how they decide just based on testimony alone, no physical evidence, no physical exams or anything else. This is all just verbal versus verbal, which in the case that I know was the case, and I'm sure it's the case in a lot of cases. How does the judge or how does the jury determine who's lying and who's not?
They just
Well,
decide with the woman. The woman has all the power.
Well, I'm not gonna go to the gender thing right now, but I guess to bring it all the way back to the Roseanne thing, I think the reason why, or you at least say the celebrity thing, I think the reason why celebrities don't have the whole trial thing, and it's because everything is a matter of popular. Well, no, it's not money. It's because everything is a matter of popular perception, and that's the thing. Like, people these days, we're so ready to be the victims. We're so ready to side on the victim's side, whether we feel they're right or wrong.
Well,
if we hear.
Keep going.
So we're constantly like, we're looking for some reason to be upset. We're looking for some reason to be offended. Because if you even look at the Roseanne thing, as soon as she said that, everybody got upset, right? Everyone was upset. Who didn't say something at the beginning? Do you know who?
Me?
No, Valerie Jarrett. The person she said about didn't say anything.
Yeah.
For a few days, didn't say anything, and it makes me think. Well, why didn't anyone else wait until Valerie said something?
I think the reason why Valerie Jarrett didn't respond to what Roseanne had said, because Valerie Jarrett probably thought Roseanne was beneath her. Like, there was no point of.
I agree with that.
Yeah. She was just like, okay, this fat white bitch thinks I look like a ape. So,
one thing I want to say too, and I know we're kind of bounced between freedom of speech versus sexual accusations, sexual assault allegations. One thing I think why we generally believe the victim is because we want to believe the victim, because we want to, and I'm not saying it's perfect. It's not perfect, but we have this mindset, most of us, of thinking, who the fuck would lie about that? How messed up do you have to be to lie about that? And so that's a short jump from there to always believing the victim, because it's kind of like yelling fire.
So you want to give
in a crowded room.
Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. It's definitely not right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not defending that, because
I feel that
we talked last night about situations that my wife has run into where she knows women that have lied about sexual assault allegations for dumb reasons too. And it's a damn shame, because you don't want to believe that crap happens. You don't want to believe somebody would lie about something that serious, but there's some messed up people.
Yeah, you don't want to automatically assume the dark side in somebody, and that's so fucked up.
See,
I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry.
But that's what I was saying before, though. Like, why is it that, like, since we are a society now that's so, we're so ready to jump on the victim side, because we feel, for whatever reason, maybe there was so much power before and the little person never had a voice. Now we got to start speaking up. It becomes the whole issue where it becomes like how women felt when the women's movement started happening. When the feminist movement first started happening, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was this whole thing, they were being, looked down upon, there was so much injustice towards women. And I agree that there was. Yeah. But now it comes to a point where it's like every woman has to be superior. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has to be accounted for, even the ones who aren't up to the standards that women are trying to set for themselves. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So and that's why I always think is, even though I don't agree with what Roseanne said, it bothers me that no one waited to see, because a lot of cases the victim, it happens and they come up like years later, and then we have to sit there and question, okay, is this what's happening? But in this situation, Valerie Jarrett is alive and ticking.
Yeah.
And it's happening in the moment. So why didn't anyone go, okay, hold on, let's not speak for Valerie Jarrett. Let's see what she says first. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of times, okay, you can like look at criminal cases. You know, if you committed a crime, okay, like if I committed a crime against you, but you forgave me, you didn't press charges on me. You know, the state can pick up those charges and prosecute me for you.
That's the difference between criminal and civil. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably that kind of plays into what you're saying, the fact that people took it over for her. You know what I'm saying? People were offended for her, even though she wasn't offended, or she might not have been offended, or she didn't voice her offense.
But it was still offensive.
It was still offensive to other people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So they took it over for her. They're like, oh no, you good. We'll take this for you.
Yeah, but I think, and I understand that. And I think we need to stop doing that, especially like
yeah.
if she would have said a blanket statement, like if she would have said something like all black people look like they came from Planet of the Apes, then I felt like everyone should be like, whoa, what the hell was you thinking?
Yeah, I
you
agree.
know. But for this, and don't get me wrong, and I don't even think the joke is the funniest. But I guess if me and Valerie Jarrett was going back and forth in a roast competition, I might have thrown it out. You know what I'm saying?
See, but that's going back and forth. Like what's so bad about Roseanne, like we said earlier, is that it came out the blue.
Yeah, see, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's another thing. But anything that always comes out, like even when people attack Trump or they attack Ivanka Trump, like no one is getting upset about it. You know what I'm saying? This is getting...
Have we? I don't know if we ever said this on any episode before. We've said it off the air. Now is a good opportunity for me to say it on the air.
Let's wrap it up.
And so if I say the N word ending with A, you guys might not be offended because we're friends. I've even asked you that. If I said that, would you be offended? And you pretty much said depending on the context. And I said if I just said it kind of like how you use the word, would you be offended? You said no. But we're on camera right now.
Yeah, you probably
if I say that, even if you guys aren't offended by it, there's a pretty big group of African Americans who would probably be pissed off that I said it.
Yeah, and because it simply comes... And
Bill Maher actually said something like that.
Oh,
although he might have said ER. I don't know.
Well, he said it in the sense of like trying to make a slavery joke, and it just didn't work out the same way. Yeah.
Okay. Forget what I said then. Scratch what I said.
No, but no. I mean, what you did kind of makes sense because when she said it, not everyone got offended. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like if you say it, me and Josh Josh and I may not get offended depending on how you use it and where it's coming from. We might just be like,
how dare you say me and Josh, you asshole.
Yeah. might just say it's a joke, you know what I'm saying? But if it come out of nowhere and you're angry at us, then it's like okay, that's coming from a different part. You know what I'm saying? But with Roseanne, it's a little different, you know. It just depends. I mean, if you side with her, you side with her, and if you don't, you got offended because politically it's incorrect. And that's how I feel, you know.
Right. So. Okay. So in closing, we want to know what you think. You know, this is another episode. You listen to us. You have your own thoughts about what we said. Hey, man, leave us a comment. You know, shoot us an email. takeoff.anytimepc@gmail.com. You know, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, anything you guys can add, it can always turn into another episode. So seriously,
definitely, let's keep this going.
Yeah, even on Facebook, hit us up and we'll comment. We can go from there.
Yeah. All right. Like we said, this is another episode of Takeoff Anytime Podcast. We like to thank and appreciate everybody who fucks with us. And if you don't fuck with us, oh well, we're going to take off anyway. I'm Joshua B. Easy, and we out.
See you.